Oh, hi guys. Hold on. What is happening? Wait.
That's disgusting.
Rude. Rudy Judy.
She just called me Nagatha Christie.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. What is happening, guys? It is Sunday. Sunday Live Haul show. Awesome to see you all here. We've already got like 30 people waiting to go. Ready to go. Ready to get this going. Super awesome.
All different kinds of states people are in. Florida and Indiana. We got a Canadian. Joe.
I'm in a state of jubilation.
I'm rolling my eyes, and I'm really not even trying to roll my eyes. We just started.
Yeah. Anyway, what's happening, guys? How's your Sunday been? How's your weekend been? How's your weekend been?
Busy. We worked a lot.
Yeah, we've been working a lot. That's very true.
We work every weekend. We're kind of lame like that.
Well, we've been working extra late. Here's the thing. Like, sales were kind of slow over the summer, and so we've been like pretty much busting our butts to just build up our inventories, and we've been kind of hitting it hard, getting ready for fourth quarter, which technically starts tomorrow. So, you know, it's definitely, we've been putting in a lot of hours, but
a lot more than usual. Like, we've been taking very little time to not work.
Yeah.
We've been probably since like April.
But we've been still getting out and doing stuff at least once or twice a week. And I mean, I got to tell you, when I was a kid growing up, like, my parents never did anything. And I'm like, man, I hope that's not going to be me. Like, it's like they'd go to work during the day. They'd come home. My dad would be like in one room doing something. My mom would be another one. And it's like maybe once a month, once every couple of months, they'd have like some people from church over for dinner. Like, they never did anything. And it's like, if we go out, if we only go out like and do something fun one night during the week, you're like, oh, something is horribly wrong.
Well, I used to be out 5 to 6 nights a week. So
yeah, but that's a bit excessive in my opinion.
Yeah, excessive.
Bit excessive, guys.
She slowed me down.
But we work all the time. But we do like working. But I mean, definitely part of it's been just like trying to get the revenue, working on getting Etsy going more. I think it's been paying off. Like, sales have been up, and October is like, it's like usually September you start to see your sales going up a little bit, and then October is kind of the month where you'll really see a bigger jump. And then if you're doing things right, November and December you can barely keep up.
January.
Yes, that's
really
true.
Good too.
That's true. January,
February,
too.
Then it kind of hits the skids again for a bit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but I will say, here's the thing: things have been better overall. Like, I'm at last 31 days, I'm like at about $8,000 gross between eBay and Etsy. That's just for me. That's not counting Victoria's store. And even with that, which I'm sure for some of you guys, those are like huge numbers. Even with that,
I think for some of you guys, that's even low numbers, because we have plenty of people that watch us that do more than we do.
Oh yeah, for sure. But even with those numbers, yesterday, I don't know what happened, guys. My eBay sales were $16. Like $16. I don't even sell anything for $16. I just happened to have a t-shirt that, like, it was one of those things where I got it home and it turned out it had some flaws. And so I didn't price it quite as high. And then I did a really low offer because I'm like, I just want to get it out of the store. And I hadn't had these sales.
Better than sticking it in a garage sale for $1. So.
Right. And I hadn't had any sales all day. So I literally closed out the day yesterday at $16.
I did a little better than that. I mean, my weekend is fairly slow for a weekend. Last weekend was as well. And I had a phenomenal week during the week. So I'm hoping that is what's going to happen this time. Fairly slow weekend. I haven't broken $200 on any day. So Friday, Saturday, and today, all under $200 a day, which is rare for me on a weekend.
Yeah, at this point, with the sales being what they've been for a while. And then so I only had that one sale yesterday. Joan just said she's only had one sale yesterday too. But I did, thanks to Etsy, I did have a $30 sale in there. I don't have, I'm not doing as much on Etsy. I think my last 30 days on Etsy is about $600. So not huge, but that's getting up there. It's climbing. So, but having that $30, it's like, geez, at least I did $46.
I'm sitting at about 7,400 gross in the past 30 days or 31 days or whatever it is on.
Yeah.
And nothing on Etsy.
Yeah, Jerry says this is his best month ever on eBay, so that's pretty awesome.
Yay,
man, I've been seeing so many of you guys like just totally kicking butt, especially with like, you know, between like Laura Franzica and then our friend Dorothy has been like hammering it. The one that, you know, Dorothy, we did the inventory intervention on. Like, she's been building up her inventory higher than she's ever had it before. And like the other day, like the day, I think it was the day that they had the flash sale, she could not, every time she thought she was done packing stuff up, something else would sell. Like, she had never had a day of sales like that. It was just insane. Like, she had
and I think that's awesome. I think we're seeing a lot of people, their sales are increasing, hopefully due to some of the tips that we've given on the show or in the Boss Facebook group, as far as, you know, refreshing old listings and making sure you list consistently, even if it's small amounts. A lot of people are saying their sales have turned around, or their sales are getting better, or they're better in general. They have more things listed. They're, you know, eliminating their money piles and getting through their back stock of inventory. So I'm pretty excited to see it.
Yeah. Liz O'Kane says, September, I have had my absolute worst day of 2018 and absolute best day of 2018. I'm telling you, it's like, it can be like a roller coaster ride, which is why I think like a lot of people, I'm going to adjust myself here, which is why I think a lot of people will suggest like, you know, having multiple revenue streams, because it is going to be a roller coaster ride.
It's feast or famine sometimes.
And
I was just saying that to Lorna earlier today. We were texting back and forth. She's starting to be in an upswing, she thinks, over the past week or two in her store, and so she's feeling better about it. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But anyway, so we had some good sales. Speaking of, we had some good sales.
We did. We had a decent. Each of us had a decent week. So yeah.
Yeah, Lori says September was very discouraging, and today 2 sales, and one was a big one. I hope October is better. Listing every day thanks to us. I'm telling you, if you just keep at it and you keep consistent and try and list every single day like you are doing now,
it really will.
I promise you October is going to be better. Lori, I don't know if you know, if you ever want to do like request people look at your store and give you feedback in the Boss Facebook group, we're always down to do that. If you ever have questions, because like I can tell you, it is overall, it's a numbers game. Like, the more you have listed, the more you're going to sell. But if you want to get more detailed into it, it's like you want to have your listings dialed in too. And there might be issues there that you could be improving on to help you get better sales.
Thrifty Chick has given me a couple of tips on the no soliciting signs. I just need to make one and stick it on the door. I don't even need to buy one. I'm just real bad at it.
Yeah.
And somebody had mentioned on the YouTube video, comment on the video the other day, is why do I even answer the door? Why don't I ignore it? Well, first of all, we usually have 2 cars in the driveway, so it's clear that somebody's home. But second of all, they literally walk past my office window to get to the front door, and you can, if I'm moving or if the light is on in my office, you can see me.
Sort of, because usually when I try to creepily look at you, I can't even see you.
So we'll see. I don't know.
But you don't like my solution of just opening the door and going, no!
No.
You don't like that?
I think that might work for that one person, but it will disturb the rest of the neighborhood. I don't think solicitors share with one another. This is the weirdo house to not go to. So if I thought that would work.
Jody, no, I did not sell a GTO jacket. I have it listed pretty high. I think I've got like 1 or 2 watchers on it. Who knows, maybe one of you guys. I don't expect that to sell anytime soon. I think that will take a little while to sell, but I'm gonna let it sit and wait for the right buyer to come along, because that's the way I like to do it. TJ's Life is Pie, you're welcome. I like making people spit their water out. So even better would be if it came out your nose, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, right? So pretty much.
Sure.
Whatever. Anyway, do you want to talk about what we sold this week?
Sure.
Yeah, we got some good stuff. All right. Now they're telling you to flip them off. Maybe give them a double flip. Maybe you could get like a little table that like you have next to the door, so that when they come to the door, you open the door, put the table in the middle there, and then just like flip the table and then shut the door. I think that would be cool. You don't like that?
Like Real Housewives in New Jersey, flipping tables.
Like anger response props.
Prostitution whore, flip the table.
Well, that was uncalled for.
That's what she did. That's what she said. Ask Dana. Dana's in the house. I saw it. Anyway.
Josie says, great job on the garage rod. I felt pretty good about myself after that. That's my job. I told her, I said, see, I don't always procrastinate. Like, I took care of that right away.
That's one thing she did take care of right away. That's true.
But here's the thing. I didn't want her, it was the weekend when she pointed out to me, and I didn't want it to fall on her like the next time she had to pull jackets off. So I knew I needed to get it done before
That's thanks. You didn't want me to die under.
I didn't want you. No, I didn't want you to be
4,000 pounds of jackets.
I didn't want you to be suffocated. So if anyone does know what we're talking about, I had to do like an emergency fix of Vicky's clothing racks, and I just put up a video yesterday about it, so you can go.
Yes,
very
Teresa
exciting.
Judice, exactly. Thrifty Chick said yes, from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
There you go. There
Just
you
look
go.
up flipping table. You'll know what I mean.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen now, and we are going to go over our sales highlights for the week. What just happened? All right, my screen like froze up or something. Here we go. Okay, so you're up first.
Yeah, you may have seen this one if you follow me on Instagram. This was something that I paid about $5 for, if that. I think it might have been a little bit less, $4 and change or whatever, for a set of sheets. Again, I always say don't ignore the linens department. Character sheets sell very well, not all of them. So please, if you're not familiar with them, take a chance looking them up before you purchase. But character sheets sell really well. And this was one of those sales. I may have priced it a little too low. I'm not sure. It sold within an hour of me pricing it. I thought it was fairly competitive to what others had sold at. As a matter of fact, I thought I'd priced it a little high, and I may have. But it was a full set of sheets with only one pillowcase. And that's it. Sold for $50. They fit in a padded flat rate mailer. They're like about 2 pounds altogether for a set of sheets. I don't know why people love these sheets, but I'll tell you what, sheets made in the 80s, especially character sheets, that material is scratchy and uncomfortable and nasty. I don't know what people want them for, but I wouldn't want to sleep on those things anymore. I'll tell you
man,
that.
the California raisins were cool.
Yeah.
They were real cool. And I would like to point out, you can see here, it says that it came with one pillowcase. I did find the pillowcase. But I want to point out that, okay, yes, I found the pillowcase, but only because Vicky told me to find it, because she is wicked smart. And she had found the sheets, and she was like, hey, could you go look? It was like a different, like the other side of the aisles where they had pillowcases and sheets.
Savers does not put their sheet sets together.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the neck.
And so she was like, hey, can you look for the pillowcases? And I'm like, yeah, right. Like, I'm going to find them. And I start looking, and sure enough, I found one.
They put the pillowcases in one section, flat sheets in another, and the fitted sheets in another. Sometimes they'll put a flat and a fitted together, but rarely. They usually put them in different sections, which means they're going to charge you for each piece instead of it being a set, which is a pain in the neck.
And I don't think
but if it's a good enough set, definitely take the time to look.
Yeah. I don't think they do that on purpose or anything. I think it's just a matter of, I mean, seriously, they put out 8,000 to 10,000 pieces per day, per store. I just think that they're not going to take the time to try to figure that out. So it's like you kind of have to take the good with the bad. All right, so my first one, this is Arizona State sweatshirt, but what's cool about this sweatshirt is it's actually a Champion reverse weave sweatshirt, which if you don't know what that means, it's this Champion brand. The reverse weaves go back decades, but you can see here in the picture that the weave here goes horizontally, and here it's vertically. So these are pretty popular 90s style. Again, they go back way before the 90s.
Everybody wore a big baggy Champion sweatshirt and a pair of jeans with your jeans rolled up. Definitely 90s. This was the alternative to the flannel grunge era. Mm-hmm. This is what most of the people I knew were wearing.
Yeah, these are super popular in the 90s, but like I said, they go back to, I think, like the 40s, 50s. I'm not sure, but they go back pretty far. But anyway, and this one even has flaws on it. And here's the funny thing. I had this on sale for 10% off, and I always end my sales at noon on whatever day I end them on. And so I had a sale going that ended at noon on Friday, but I accidentally forgot to change the time, so it ended at 12 midnight. So I woke up, and this was the one sale I'd had, and they actually paid full price for it because it should have been still 10% off, which, you know, whatever, big deal. It actually sold to somebody in Australia. So not only did I get full price on it, I also did not have to pay what would have been a padded flat rate mailer if I would have sold it domestically with my free shipping. So that would have cost me another $6.90. So they paid for shipping. Plus I made a little bit on top of that because I do, you know, get the shipping discount through Pirate Ship. So really, this was an awesome sale.
That was a good sale.
Yeah, it was a good sale. Anyway, so yeah, don't be scared to like buy stuff that has little flaws in it, depending on what it is. And something like this, obviously, it wasn't a big deal to them.
So this is something I showed in a haul video, I don't know, maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago. I picked it up for $1 at an estate sale. I priced it on the high side of what these were selling for. As you can see, this is like dusty. It's not dirty per se, but it is dusty. Like I wiped it down before.
You were like, I'm cool with this piece of lint right here.
I don't even know what that was. Possibly a piece of lint, whatever. Apparently I didn't see it until you're enlarging the photo. But in any case, I paid $1 for it and I priced it fairly high. And I got a couple lowball offers. As a matter of fact, I actually sold it in a best offer for $60 a few weeks ago. Person never paid for it. So it was relisted and it sold for $80 yesterday. And
you paid.
Bought and paid for $80. I paid $1. Some of those hats are priced really low and others are priced really high. So I think it was I think that was a good flip. I sold it definitely on the high end of what others were selling for.
See, and yet another reason to not be so upset or not get so bogged down in like the transactional issues, whether somebody doesn't pay or somebody's trying to lowball you or all these different things. So here's an instance where you took a lower offer. They probably got on your nerves because they didn't pay, and then you had to go back and relist it. And then pretty quickly you sold it for $20 more than you had originally. So
yeah, I mean, the good thing is that I have automated unpaid item assistant set up. So I don't relist it. It automatically relists. They collect, I get my final value fees back. They get an unpaid item strike against their account.
Yeah.
And my item is automatically relisted. So I prefer the automated process. If they don't pay within 3 days or 3 or 4 days, I think I give them, and then it starts the unpaid.
I think it usually all works out. Hey, hip flipping mama. Josie wants to know if we request immediate payment. You cannot when you do
best offer.
If you do best, if it's through a best offer, you don't. Was this an offer or they just bought it?
They just bought it.
Right.
So this was immediate payment. But yes, we both do have immediate payment required because we both use, we're both part of the guaranteed guaranteed delivery program as far as getting things out quickly. But when someone makes a best offer, unfortunately, they have plenty of time to pay if you accept an offer. And we do both have best offers on all of our items.
Yeah.
So those are the people that tend to not pay. I usually have anywhere from 3 to 5 a week sitting out there.
So that's one of the drawbacks of
don't.
best offer. But let me tell you, I probably half of my sales come through best offer. So I'm fine with having to deal with people who either don't pay or take forever to pay. I'm like, yeah, whatever. All right, my next one.
Oh, Jody said, hey, thanks. Congrats on just surpassing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positive eBay feedbacks. I'll tell you what, consider that was I took a picture of that and put it on Instagram. I was waiting for it the past couple of weeks because I think it's just a cool number. But yeah, my feedback was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You like that? You can't see her face, guys, but she's rolling her eyes. So this I showed last week. This is not vintage. This was in my haul last week. Not vintage. This is just Levi's vest. I think somebody had cut the sleeves off. Maybe it was made this way. I'm leaning more towards they were just cut off. There's a little wear around the collar. Again, you can see from this tag right here. I don't know how to date these, but it's definitely not vintage. I had listed it for $35.99 and it was only up for maybe 5 days, 6 days. And it was purchased at full price at $35.99. So that was a pretty quick and easy sale. I'm telling you guys, denim is really in right now. So
denim is really
blue jean jackets are really
so
in.
Gretchen has a question. Where do you set up the automatic relisting on best offers? Well, it's not necessarily on best offers. I just have it set up on, it's when you go into your unpaid item assistant, you can automate your unpaid items and you get to choose how many days before it opens it up and then whether it automatically relists the item for you. I set it up so many years ago, hun, to be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly what the steps are, but if you go into your unpaid item assistant, you should be able to find the way to automate it there.
Yeah, I do mine manually just because I like to. All right, your turn.
Okay, so this was something I showcased on a haul video, I don't know, a few months ago anyway. These are, I paid, I think $7 or $8 for them. They were new, unworn. Can you please close it so I can see how much I sold them for? You do this to me all the time.
I'm trying to show people the deets.
They sold for, I took a best offer. These sold for actually $90. But I paid about $7 or $8 for them. I didn't know anything about them. I just thought they were cool. It was a new brand that I was not real familiar with. I think if they had been a bigger size or if these had been men's, they would have sold for a lot more. They tend to sell for about 120 to 150, even used. But Unfortunately, I think because they were women's and they were on a, you know, average size for women's, they didn't sell for quite as much. So I was happy to get that offer, and I was happy to take that. You'll see in my condition, I did put down the reviews state that the shoe runs half a size small, purchase accordingly. And the reason why I did that, when I checked the information on them, I wanted to make sure that I noted that, because a lot of people were complaining about the size discrepancy. So I'm hoping that that will eliminate, you know, a return by mentioning that.
Jody says, I'm addicted to the thrift hunt and bin picking. It's ridiculous. LOL, I need more money. Listen, if you try and make some rules for yourself that you get everything listed, like we have to source a lot to be able to do this full time. Both of us be doing this full time. So we source every week, at least one day a week, if not more. And, but we both list all of our stuff within the week a week after we buy it. And so if you are getting all of your stuff listed in a reasonable amount of time and you're getting good stuff, you should be able to start bringing in an income where you can do it all the time. Like I said, we get to do it. Like we went out on Thursday, and we're gonna show you the stuff that we got, and we had so much fun just out buying stuff all day long. But it's like we're doing that because it's our job, and then we're going home and getting it listed.
Right, right. You got to treat this like a business for sure. Clark West, I will definitely take a look at the vest on Instagram when we're done with the show.
Yeah.
And Sarah Jean, when you have a good till cancel, does it relist itself after 30 days? Yes, that's what good till cancel means. It relists automatically. I'm assuming it counts as a listing. Yes, it does. It counts as toward your number of listings every month, and that's why your numbers of free listings goes down every month. Yes, that's absolutely true.
DJ, if you have immediate pay required or whatever, if you have that option turned on, which we do, it just means that when they buy something, buy it now for whatever the price is on it, they have to pay right away. If you have best offer turned on, it's only if they give you an offer and you accept it, or the price is decided upon through an offer, that they don't have to pay immediately. But you can have both of those going at the same time. Neither one's going to cancel out the other or make the person
right. They're not mutually exclusive.
All right, so here's a fancy pair of shoes. I got a bunch of these. I think I have one pair left. Yeah, so it
says last one.
So I still have one pair left, guys. If you have a size 10 foot and you need a pair of some sweet gold metallic tennis shoes. I got these at the Adidas outlet last year, but I bought like a whole bunch of them. I got gold ones, I got silver ones. I think they were priced at like $30, and then they were on clearance down to $30. Adidas has great clearances, and then they also were buy one get one half off, I believe, at the time. Or no, actually they were buy one get one free when I got these. So I really only paid $15 per pair in the box, brand new. Got a whole bunch of them. This pair actually sold, right now it's $84.99, but it was during my 10% off sale, so the person actually paid $90 for it. And they went to California, so I was stoked because they came in their box, and so that means they were a bit hefty, but I think they shipped for like $7.80 to somebody in California. So I'm loving selling off this new stuff that I got at Adidas. All right, Joan, we'll talk about your death pile stuff here in a minute. Let's get through this, and then we'll be able to actually see our wonderful faces while we talk. So we're not stuck on the sharing of the screen. But you're asking about death pile stuff that you're not excited to list anymore because it's not worth anything. We'll get to that. All right, you're up.
So again, look at my pictures. See, pictures don't have to be perfect. It's
yellow
a little dark.
Really, really hard. Yellow.
It's a little dark, and it's a pale yellow. So I think I tried lighting it both ways, and when I tried to light it up a little too much, it looked like an odd yellow. So this is a true representation of the color. If it's not incredibly really crisp. But so this is a jacket that I paid maybe $3 or $4 for. It sold for that price that you see there, $112.46, and it was an international sale, so they did pay shipping for it. So it was a polo.
That sweet tag.
It's a really cool tag, and I'm not entirely sure that it has anything to do with Ralph Lauren or not. That's how old this tag is. I wasn't able to find any real information on it other than
that's the same. It
looks the same to me. I wasn't able to find a ton of information on it, which is why I priced it high. And all I know is that I priced it high and it was vintage and it sold well. So I just took a risk on it. I knew I was going to sell it for something. Wasn't quite sure I was going to sell it for that much.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So this is probably my favorite sale of the week, and I think Vicki knows why. So I bought this at a garage sale. It was a garage sale we talked about on the show. I might have even showed this jacket on the show.
I think you did.
I think it was like maybe the guy who owned this jacket had passed away because the mother, well, he had, because the mother talked about how something had happened. He was a younger dude, and it was all a bunch of streetwear stuff. I think you got a lot of shoes. There were jackets. There's all kinds of stuff. And I got t-shirts there, and I got this jacket, and this is like a really expensive snowboarding jacket, really nice snowboarding jacket. So I bought it back in April, I believe is when we got it, because that's when I listed it. And not soon after, or not long after I listed it, this guy offered some really low amount. I don't know.
It was like $30 or
something. 30 or 40 bucks. I don't know what it was. And I countered with 95 at the time. And this guy literally, like, I never responded to him, other than to, like, I think I declined an offer that came back after that. But literally every single month since April, you guys, this guy has messaged me about this listing, basically like
berating,
basically mocking me for like trying to sell a snowboarding jacket in the summertime. And like, he'd say, man, I sure hope you have a lot of inventory space in your warehouse to keep this. And I think the last one he sent was something like, can't wait to buy this in 2058 or something like it was seriously like every month I would get it was like a clockwork. I would get a message from him basically harassing me for still having this on sale for so high in the summertime. Whatever. My way of dealing with that is I never responded. Like, there's no point. And then a few days ago, or this last week, somebody offered $90, which was $5 less than what I had countered him with back in April. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell it for $90. So I sold this for $90, shipped that puppy back on out. And, I never engaged with the guy who was giving me a hard time, but you know what?
I hope he goes to look for it and sees it sold.
I guarantee, well, obviously he's keeping an eye on things because he's making sure I know every month that it hasn't sold yet. So he's going to like see that it's sold. And so I get to feel a little bit of happiness in my heart knowing that he'll see that it did sell. But you know what? I am not about the quick nickel. I'm about the slow dime. And I knew that there was a possibility, like maybe it would sell during the summer. People go on skiing trips in the summertime. It happens. It's more likely to sell in the wintertime. I get that. I don't really care. I price stuff at what I want to get it for. I don't price it because of the season that it is. And I knew I would sell it. And so I didn't really care. 5 months to me is a great amount of time to wait to sell something at this price. So
I feel the same way. So this is another item. This is one of those long tail items. Again, like you're just talking about, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to sell. I sell a lot of vintage clothing, and vintage clothing is definitely one of those items that is considered long tail, which means that it's going to take a lot longer to sell because you need to find the correct buyer. But that does not necessarily mean that you've got to race to the bottom on your pricing. If something sits for 6 months to a year, if you only have $2 invested in it and it's not costing you any money to store it, then why wouldn't you wait for your price? That's the assumption that I'm under. I know not everyone works that way. A lot of people are trying to turn over as much inventory as quickly as possible. I am not one of those people. I prefer the slow dime to the fast nickel. And I have just recently started adjusting my strategy to maybe accept a little bit less on some items, some everyday items that I would normally hold out for, just because there are so many people on the marketplace right now that are driving down pricing that I can't always get the price that something should be. But in any case, I sold this this poncho. I would probably have kept it for myself if I couldn't stand the feel of mohair. Something about it's really scratchy and itchy to me, and my skin breaks out. I don't like it. But
Christiana loves it.
Loved this poncho. I think I paid maybe at most $5 for it, and I have had it for a good 6 to 8 months. But it sold for full price of $97.46 when it was on sale at 25% off. It sold for that price, and it sold to California. And I already got feedback on it. My customer loved it. She's in love with the piece. So every once in a while, I'm going to take a nice piece and I'm going to hang on to it and wait to get my pricing on it.
Yep, absolutely. And Jody says if you ship internationally, just put everything up at any time during the year. It's winter somewhere at all times. Very, very true.
That's true.
Give him a double flip. That's what Angie says. Okay, so my last one is going to be my Etsy sales. I don't think I shared these sweatshirts last week. Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got like a whole bunch of blank Hanes sweatshirts. There's a couple jerseys ones in there too, but they were all these like vintage 80s crew neck Hanes. Like you can see the 80s tag here, all dead stock. And so I got a whole bunch of listed them all on Etsy and on eBay. And I had this guy request if I would be willing to give him a deal if he got 2 of them. And so I actually told him I would take $60 for 2. And he was supposed to like buy them and then choose other for payment so that I could send him an invoice for the correct amount. But he just went ahead and bought this one for the $35.99. And so I had to adjust the other one, the price down on the other one to $24. But I still have more of these left. But I sold 2 of these to him for $60 total.
So you paid like what?
I paid. This is when we went on Monday for the 50% off sale at Savers, and they were all priced at $8.49. And so I basically paid $4.25 for each of them, and I got a bunch of them, but I think this sale alone more than pays for all the ones I bought, and then now it's all going to be gravy after that.
Bags, 80s is vintage, honey, 90s is vintage.
Yeah, technically,
according to Etsy, up to 1998 is vintage, soon to be 1999. So I know that makes you feel old. It certainly makes me feel old.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take this off the screen share, and then let's get back to now. Who was it that asked the question? Was it Jody?
Scroll back a little.
Or Joan, maybe. I'm going. Yep, Joan. Okay, so let me end this screen share here. So this is exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about like making sure that you list your stuff when you buy it. Now, again, that's not where you're at right now if you're talking about death piles, but ideally you are buying your stuff and then you're immediately or in like a timely manner, like a week or 2, getting it all listed. I mean, unless you're somebody who goes out and does bulk buys, so I get sometimes it's going to take you a little bit longer, but you get it all listed, and then that way it's working for you right away. You're selling stuff right away. You're going to drive your sales up. So that's all great. But the other part is exactly what you're talking about, is that we're constantly evolving as sellers. And so you should always be learning about new brands, or you're realizing that certain brands don't sell as well as other brands, or certain types of things have gone past their time. And also you're just getting better at what you do. And then certain why can't I think of the word, like trends change.
Yeah.
So what sold a year ago might have been really popular a year ago.
That was popular
Today
a year ago because of something that was going on in current culture, or anything pop culture. Certain things are really hot for a few months, like Pokemon. Let's put it this way: like Pokemon, that Pokemon game was insanely hot for about 2 months. And anything Pokemon related, especially in early 90s Pokemon stuff, was flying off the shelves. Yeah. And if you had it in your house, people were stealing their kids' stuff to list because it was ridiculous, the prices that were coming for it. Try to do that now.
Yeah. So the problem,
Pokemon is back to as dead as it was before the craze.
Right. So the problem with oversourcing and getting all these huge death piles is that by the time you get to them, either you're going to realize that you just didn't know what you were doing and you got stuff that wasn't worth anything, or trends have shifted and they're no longer worth anything, which means you missed the window of when you could have sold it and made some money on it. So with that said, if you haven't watched our inventory intervention video with Dorothy, what we did there is exactly what we would advise you to do. If you have a bunch of death piles and stuff that you're not excited about, you need to figure out what your guidelines are for your stuff, go through all of it, figure out what stuff you need to just redonate.
Oh, fidget spinners. Yep, that's another one too.
What stuff you need to throw up in a garage sale or do some local sales with, and what stuff you need to keep and get listed in, again, a timely manner. Personally, I'm of the thought that if you're not excited about it, it's hard to stay motivated when it's a bunch of crap that you don't want to sell.
It's true.
And so the way I operate, some people will force themselves to do it. Like I know Laura Franzica right now is she's decided she's going to make herself do 5 clothing items a week.
Because she hates listing clothing, but she has some good stuff. Right. So she can't quite part with it.
Right. And so my whole thing is I'm just not going to source the stuff that I know I'm not excited about, like pants. So when I find pants that are worth money, I give them to her because I know she can make money off of them. But I don't want to have them because they're just going to get set aside over and over and over again. And then it's why did I even buy it in the first place?
And for me, I there's not one specific thing that makes me super excited to sell. So if I think it's cool and exciting, I'm going to buy it regardless of what category it fits in. And I'm going to list it quickly because I don't really have death piles, and neither does Katie. That being said, I definitely have probably 10% of my inventory, maybe a little less than 10% of my inventory is well over a year old and stale and crap. I think everybody has crap in their inventory that is not worth selling or listing anymore. So once I get through this 4th quarter where I've found that almost everything sells in Q4, you do get through a lot of the old stuff. If I don't sell it by February, I'm going to be pulling a lot of my older stuff, and I'm going to have a garage sale, and whatever doesn't sell at the garage sale doesn't even come back in the house. It goes back in the back of the truck and goes right to Goodwill for a drop off.
Yeah, for sure. Liz O'Kane says that when she's not feeling motivated to list out death piles, then she makes herself list 3 not so good items and then 1 item that she's excited about, and then she kind of does that over and over again. And you know, sometimes I'll suggest that to people too, because some people are like they have a real problem with, they want to source, and like, you know, yeah, you can do like the whole like, I'm not going to source for an entire month. Yes, you can do that, but for some people, like, that's going to make you miserable and it's going to be hard. Then you're going to like break that promise to yourself or whatever. So if you can find some way to balance it, whether it's like, I need to list 50 items this week, and then if I get those 50 items done, I'm going to reward myself by going out and do a little sourcing, but I'm going to limit myself to only getting the 10 best items that are there. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, so you're making sure that at least you're making progress forward, but you're getting to reward yourself with the part that you really like to do. Unless you're like one of those people that you got to go cold turkey because like if you set foot in the thrift store, you buy everything. I don't know.
I'm one of those people. You know, I don't have like I said, I don't have a death pile, so I can go ahead and buy as I want. But I find it very difficult to walk out of a thrift store spending less than $100. They have to have a lot of crap for me not to find good stuff.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, thank you for answering the hat questions in there. Baseball hats. I ship mine in a small box. Katie doesn't sell a lot of them, but when she does, they go in a box as well. And like Jerry said, anywhere from 6 ounces to 8 ounces in a box.
Yeah.
Just so the brim doesn't get smashed.
Yep, indeed. Yeah, and you get the right box, you can make sure you keep it under 8 ounces, which is really nice.
The eBay 8x6 I think it's the 8x6x4 boxes are actually almost.
Yeah, it like just barely works.
Yeah,
but
if you put it on an angle.
You got to be real careful so you're not smashing it.
If you put it on an angle, the brim's not going to get smashed.
But yeah, Lorna says between her unlisted stuff and crap listings, she pulled like nearly 1,500 items out of her store and just got rid of them. So seriously, and again, going back to Laura Franziga, she's been posting some stuff. She's been posted up in Boss, I think this morning, or was it last night? Showing her progress. Like she's been super motivated over the last couple of months and like really working on getting more stuff listed, as well as decluttering and getting stuff out. And like, I think she took like a truckload of stuff away this weekend. So she's feeling pretty excited about it. So are you trying to tell me something?
Yeah, we're going to move on to.
All right, guys.
Our haul video portion of the haul.
So we went on Thursday. You decided to go with me. You weren't sure if you're going to, and then you just couldn't resist.
I had a threshold of sales I needed to hit for the week for me to go and spend the whole day, because I knew that if I spend the whole day going to all 6 stores, I'm going to find stuff to buy in every store. And I knew that I needed to have a certain number of sales in before I wanted to spend more money on inventory.
Yeah.
So I'm a little disciplined.
So we went to all 6 Savers, and it was seriously like every week I swear I tell her, this has been my best week. This has been my biggest week. And the thing is, like, the last few weeks have been amazing. And I didn't buy as much stuff this last week as I did the week before, but I think I got even better stuff. And every single store that we went to, without fail, all 6 stores, I found at least one amazing thing that I was like so excited to find. And we went to the first 4 stores we went to, we got done, and our car was just packed. And she was like, are you sure? You know, we could just stop right now. We pretty much have like enough stuff. And she's like, we don't even need to go to the other 2. And then she kind of looked at me and realized, like, she's like, but you want to go anyway. And I'm like, yeah, them's the rules if you're coming with me on all day Thursday, sourcing day.
You gotta hit all 6.
Hit all 6.
And you gotta do it fast, because I can't spend 2 hours in every store.
Because I have, was it FOMO, fear of missing out? Because I'm like, I know there's something there. I just know it. And so I'm like, listen, we're going to go the last 2 ones. And I'm like, I'm not even going to look at t-shirts, because I still have like 60 t-shirts to list for this last week, which I'm going to be working on as soon as we're done here. So I'm not going to look at the t-shirts. I just want to go into the stores 15, 20 minutes max. I want to look at jackets and I want to look at sweatshirts. And so that's what we did. And let me tell you, I am so glad both of the stores, both of them found. One of them I found the best thing I found all week, and then the other one was probably second best. So I was like, thank God we came, because I got something really good. All right, let's go. What do you got?
All right, so the first 2 things I'm gonna show, I actually bought when we went to 2 stores when we were in Michigan. So it's been 2 weeks, but they just came in this week because my friend Melissa, who lives in Ohio, was out helping us at when we were volunteering at the conference. She came out to visit, and we went thrifting one night, went to 2 stores. Not a lot was purchased, but enough that I couldn't fit it in our stuff to take home. So she sent me a box home. So The box just came in the other day, so I'm going to show 2 things that came from that box. So they're actually 2 weeks old. They're not from this week. Okay, so the first one that I paid $4.99 for is this Nike ACG, which is all climate gear.
Yeah, something like that.
This is a women's jacket, and it's a small. I only paid $5 for it though, and if you take a look at ACG Nike, I'm sorry, I paid $6.99. I lied. I thought it was $5.
Zaya!
Still $6.99. It's a women's and it's a small, so I'm not going to get as much for it as I would if it were men's or if it were bigger, but I should get about 75 to 80 bucks for it. It's a lightweight jacket, but it's like waterproof, it's weatherproof. That's what the ACG means. This one was my favorite thing that I found there, and I'm really tempted to keep it for myself. I actually paid up for this. I paid $20 for it, and it is a super soft, really well-made Frye. Have you heard of the boots? I paid $20 for it. It's a Frye suede barn coat type thing. It's a really, really soft and rich, very well-made, no defects. I'm in love with this jacket. I may end up keeping it.
It's true, guys. Ever since it came in the mail, she's been like cuddling with it in bed, so it's a little weird, a little creepy.
Love this jacket. Frye clothing is something that's really hard to find. I'm not even sure. I have to do a little bit more research, but I'm not even sure that they actually make clothing anymore. They make amazing boots, and the boots are great resale value if you ever find them, by the way. Even if you get them on clearance somewhere, they're one of those things you want to pick up for retail arbitrage because they hold their value, and people really look for specific styles. So even when they stop making them.
Laura says keep it. Actually, she says, OMG, keep it.
Yeah, I'm actually really loving this jacket. The problem is that I wear jackets so infrequently here that I almost would rather get the $200 out of this that I think I'm going to get for it.
That's why you price it for $300 and then you wear it while you're waiting for it to sell.
That wouldn't be the first time. Casey's birthday is today. Allison said, hey, happy birthday, Casey. Now she's only 13 years younger than she is. Okay, so I'm just doing these 4 clothing things, because I only have 4 clothing things to show. Okay. One of the things that we grabbed when we were out on Thursday is a whole bunch of Nick and Nora pajamas. I've talked about these before. I happen to really like the pajamas. They tend to go down in sales price a little bit over the years, but still not so much. I paid $4.99 for this set. And what I really like about this one is it's really, really hard to find. It's a NASCAR print.
Cool.
So they actually feel unworn. Of course, I'm still going to put them as used, but they feel unworn because they're super stiff, lightweight cotton. And you can usually tell when they've been washed because, you know, they get super wrinkly and stuff. These have some folds in them that look like factory folds. But anyway, I paid 25% off. So I paid $3.50 for these.
That's just crazy.
And I'm going to list them and sell them for 50 bucks. They're a big size too.
And not to toot my own horn, I'm going to toot my own horn because I want to. So here's another thing I'm always talking about, like whenever we're at Savers, when I shop stuff right off the rack that just comes out. So we were about ready to leave and she was up by the shoes and I saw that there was a new rack out. So I ran back by the men's clothing to just check really quick. And I saw there were 2 full sets and 2 that were just the pants. So I'm assuming they all came from the same donation. So it kind of makes sense that they were all maybe new. And I like grabbed all of them and took them to her. And I think the pants were only listed at like $250.
$250. Like that. Yeah, I get 2 pairs of Nick and Nora pants and 2 full sets of pajamas. That just happened to be one of them that I liked the best. So
yeah, so I grabbed them all, of course, and ran them over to her. I was like, "You want these?" And she's like, "Where'd those come from? I already looked in that section." And I'm like, "They were on the to-go out rack." So you can go any time of day and you're going to find stuff. Particularly, I think they don't put out new stuff on Sundays and Mondays, but Tuesday through Saturday, they're putting 10,000 items out all day long. So you're always going to have a chance to find something cool.
Look what you got.
Ooh, Josie, was it Josie? Is it Rosales? Rosales presents New Beginnings. Just came across her channel and find you both fantastic. We'll have to binge watch your older videos. That's a $5 super chat. You know how I feel about that?
You're going to dance or sing or something.
I don't know. Super chat. J'ai super chatté.
Okay, stop. Rag, Sandy was asking why Thursdays for Savers. Thursdays is 25% off everything in the store for members. Mondays is 50% off. Don't get me wrong. I love the 50% off sale, but Mondays are usually crazy with people and lines and kids and screaming.
Like we went Monday.
I just makes me want to stab everybody.
A few weeks ago to one store, and we did find some good stuff, but that's when I found like all those sweatshirts. But it's too crazy. I don't like fighting people for stuff. I don't like the anxiety of like, I gotta rush, I gotta get in there. I'm not into it. Plus, like I said, at the Savers here anyway, Sundays and Mondays, they don't have their restocker people working. And so a lot of the kind of stuff that I know I would be really excited about, like, is probably not going to be there because it will have already been bought. So for me, it's not worth the 50% off sale. Whereas Thursday, new stuff's coming out. It's 25% off. It's not going to be as crazy. And so for me, I just prefer that a lot.
Thrifty Chick, I'm not even sure how to give a super chat either. I think it's if you hit the $sign at the bottom of the chat thing, it teaches you how to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not that we're soliciting. Just sorry, just trying to answer the question. So yeah, I prefer the 25% off just so I don't have to fight the people, and the stuff's being replenished all day long. So if we make it to a store at 3:00 in the afternoon, it's not completely wiped out from a 50% off sale because they do not replenish on Mondays. So,
and like I said, they didn't do it the day before on the Sunday. So it's like, there's been all those hours that people have been shopping the store, and you're just less likely to find like the really, like, we found good stuff on that day, but I don't think I found any showstoppers.
Right.
It was just like solid, good, like those sweatshirts that I got was
And let's see, do we do 30 days or grid till canceled? Because of the way that eBay has recently changed their sale rule, meaning that if you have something that is less than 14 days old, it cannot be encompassed in a store sale or a category sale of any kind. We've both recently changed. Well, I've changed back to good till canceled. I've done both many times over the years, gone back and forth. But now all of my stuff is good till canceled because it's not considered a new item when it renews at the end of the 30 days. It still has the same item number, so it can be encompassed in the store sales.
Yeah.
So I've literally just changed that from good till canceled, and since the store rule, sale rule came out a few months ago.
I have always done good till canceled, and then just let it sit for a year, 2 years, whatever. Now I really do believe that after about 90 days, it just gets to the point where it's just so stale that it's just going to drop in the listing results and when people search results. But I don't want to be doing it every 30 days. So I'm really moving forward doing good till canceled, but then ending it and relisting it every 90 days about.
I'm trying to keep an eye on the 90-day mark as well.
Brooks, who's developing the data mine software, he has, they just added a new feature where you can set it up to automatically delist and then relist stuff through Sell Similar. And he actually just shared a how-to video in the Boss Facebook group. So if you're in the Boss Facebook group, just look for that video. He put it up, I believe, yesterday, the day before. And it's him showing how that works. So you can actually set it up so it's done automatically.
I'm kind of excited about it. Okay, and this is my last clothing item, and then Katie can show some of her things. So this is like vintage 90s. Again, you know how I like my hard rock stuff. It's a vintage 90s hard rock jacket. I like that it's Los Angeles.
I now give her any hard rock stuff that I find because it is men's. But I know she likes it for some reason. So
I did pay up for it a little bit. I think I paid $12 for it, or $11, $12 for it, which is a little high. But I'll list it for at least 50 or 60. It's just really cool. And denim is really in right now. I love that this has got the old school logo on the back. It's actually leather. The circle part is leather, and it's a little faded.
That's kind of cool.
So I'm kind of excited about that one. It's like a large or a
Angie says that Purdue, it was like a letter sweater, kind of sweater jacket, is still up, but her husband says that when she sells it, she's got to super chat me for the help. But listen, yeah. Do you have any watchers on it yet? How many watchers? Well, other than me, I think I'm watching it, but I'm really curious to see like what kind of response you've gotten. If you have lots of views, lots of watchers, I think it's pretty cool. I think that's definitely going to be probably a long tail thing that might take a few months to sell, but it is really, really cool.
It's true. Denim does not go out of style, but fortunately, heading into this fall, it is actually trend setting again in general. Denim is really big again, especially trucker jackets, trucker style jackets, denim, flannel, plaid, anything you can think of from the 90s is what is in right now.
Yeah.
Work boots, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Combat boots, all that.
All right, I got some stuff, guys. Okay, so here's one of the things. I think I've talked about this before, but I was really excited to find this. This was priced at $13.49, so a little bit spendy, but it was 25% off of that. This is an Arnold Palmer by Robert Bruce cardigan sweater, and this is like a nice big size too. It's like a
boucle.
So this says 2XL. Well, yeah, and you know what? A lot of these cardigans are acrylic. This one is actually wool, so it's kind of interesting.
See how I knew it was wool just by touching it? I'm so wicked smart.
Wicked smart. It's a nice big size. Seriously, these
the grandpa sweater, grandpa sweater,
no holes.
Mr. Rogers,
in great condition. These I could sell this 60 to 80 bucks, especially with this size, up to $80. It's a nice color. These are just this specific brand. I mean, I sell like the Jansen ones really well as well. But this Arnold Palmer by Robert Bruce, yeah, this is a 2XLT. So it's actually a tall one. So I was more than happy to pay like 10 bucks for this thing. Those do really well.
Denim. Get your denim overalls listed right now. Overalls and jumpsuits is another thing that's really, really big for the season. So overalls I can't keep in stock, and I'm selling them for 50 or 60 bucks a pop. It doesn't matter what the brand is. So especially when they're from the 90s, because they're a little bit baggier than the current style that is out right now. People are trying to bring back in like H&M. It's a little more of a skinny leg on an overall, and I think people like that baggy overall with the baggy leg more.
Yeah. Jody wants to know about a black genuine leather Peterbilt jacket, new with tags. What it should go? You know, we would have to see it. It's hard to really give you like feedback on something like that. It's kind of depends on what it looks like, because a lot of times it's not just the brand. It's like the look of the actual item. If there's any stuffs on it, anything like that. Hey, Clark West Trading, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, ladies, for all the advice and the kindness you show your fans and followers. You inspire me to build my inventory and keep at it. That is awesome to hear.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very cool.
Very sweet.
Really appreciate the super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Clark West is super chat. Hey, I think it's kind of cool that they can virtually pay me to like poke and tickle you.
Don't encourage your people.
Anyway, okay, so next. Oh man, I was super excited about this, guys. Super excited about this. I don't know if any of you guys out there are XFiles fans. Here we go. Here we go. You ready? Look at this sweatshirt. Look at this sweatshirt. XFiles. And this is like legit. This has it's got the 20th Century Fox tag, and then underneath you can see the vintage 90s Hanes tag. And then if you actually look at the art itself and you look close, let's see if I can get this to focus in, it actually does say 1996. So this is like a 1996 XFiles sweatshirt. I did find one that had been sold before for like $25, and I'm like, were they high?
Yeah, they
like,
sold
come on,
way too cheap.
Sometimes that's the thing, guys. If you price stuff too cheap, yeah, it's gonna sell, and then you missed out on some money. Personally, I'll be pricing this up. I'll probably put this up at like
75,
maybe 60, just based on like overall sales, and like I've looked at worth point and stuff like that. So kind of the history of sales and these types of things. But I think I can sell it for like 60 bucks.
I think it's cool.
There's a lot of nerds out there. Come on.
Where my nerds at?
Where my nerds at? All right, I'm just gonna jump into that fifth store when she was like, "Oh, let's just stop after the fourth store. We can just go home. Let's not even go to the next store." I was like, "You shut your mouth, woman. You shut your mouth." Anyway, so we went into the next store, and let me tell you guys, that place could have been picked clean before we got there, because I think I only got 2 items, and one of them was on the go back thing, because I only looked at jackets and sweatshirts. One of them was on the go out rack, the new rack. I literally watched the lady carry it over to the rack and hang it up, and I walked up behind her and I went, yoink. And this is my favorite, yoink. And this is my favorite find of the day, of the week,
I think she might have had a little too much caffeine this
morning. Of the week. Check it out, guys. All right, we got ourselves here a leather, wool, vintage 90s, Letterman's jacket, varsity jacket. It's from Berkeley, but it's not just from Berkeley. This says Berkeley Now 10. Let's look at the back here. It's got some kind of crazy fish thing going on. You're like, what's that? Look up close. Okay, it's clearly some sort of computer nerdy thing. So it looks like it's got like a little hair on it. Anyway, it looks like it's some sort of nerdy computer thing. I looked up while I was in the store, guys. This is from a computing project at Berkeley that was in the 90s, where they were working to network a bunch of computers together. And I was able to find the website of this project, and it was closed in 1998. This is celebrating, I believe, like the year before they were successful in getting like 10 big mainframe computers connected. It was some sort of nerdy accomplishment. Anyway, so this is a defunct nerdy computing project at Berkeley. I'm super excited about it. I priced it ridiculously high. Who knows how much it'll sell for? There's nothing else out there like it because it's just like, I don't know.
You got to find some
Who knows?
geek, but computer geek stuff sells well.
I love this
Even
kind
the
of stuff.
t-shirts.
I love this kind of stuff that's weird, obscure. There probably isn't, maybe there's only a handful of them out there because I mean, how many did they actually have made? I don't know.
How many people were part of the project?
I have no idea. No clue. That actually bought like a full-on Letterman's jacket around it. Who knows? Gretchen, what? Gretchen wants a super chat duet, please. Love how you both work so well together. Do you remember your super chat song? Do you remember how it goes?
No.
Because I had my own part in it.
Oh, what is it?
Because it was oh.
No, it was the other
one. Or was
one.
the other one? What's the other song?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, super chat. Super chat.
All right.
We won't go with it.
I don't remember the verses though. Sorry. It's about as good as you get.
Just the chorus. But anyway, I'm excited about this. I think I have it priced. I think I priced it at like $300. Like honestly, like do I think I'm gonna sell for $300? I don't know. A lot of times when I price stuff like this, where I'm like, I have no clue, I'm not gonna do an auction. Because the thing with an auction is it has a limited window and you have to hope that like the right people see your listing within that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really screw yourself. And with something like this, I mean, yeah, if it was like an original Apple jacket from the early 1980s, an auction would probably be one of the things you could do.
Right.
But this is like so obscure. So I will price like crazy high and then I'll just see like what kind of views do I get? What kind of watchers do I get? Like how, whatever. So who knows? I have no idea.
I'm as pink as my hair, Lori.
All right, you can go ahead.
Did I blush? I don't know. Probably. She's so much more showy than I am. Although, even though I'm the one with the pink hair, this is how I prefer to stand out. The hair, the makeup, the clothing. That's the,
She does do karaoke, so you're right. Jennifer said, just pretend you're doing karaoke.
Candy asked, you saw your video about the garage. Is every one of those items listed already? Yes.
We have nothing. We have nothing in the garage that is not listed. We don't keep our unlisted inventory out there at all.
Yeah, we actually both have maybe 100 items or less that is unlisted, and it's just, for me, it's just the stuff that we just purchased on Thursday.
Pretty much.
I have everything listed up until what we just purchased Thursday, with the exception of like 5 items.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit behind because I got so many t-shirts and stuff last week. So honestly, like I'm not going to be completely done listing everything by the time I go out on Thursday. So probably this Thursday, I'm going to do like the 15-20 minute quickie version for every single store. I'll still go out and hit all the 6 savers, but I'll probably do it at a much like a smaller scale, just so that I can get like a few key pieces. Because I want to make sure, like I always talk about like list your most expensive stuff first. Basically what I'll do is I'll get everything home. I take all the pictures of my jackets and sweatshirts first, and I get those listed first. So now they're almost all listed already.
So your t-shirts sit for a
little
longer.
So my t-shirts will take a little bit longer because I know I'm just listing most of them at 30, 35 bucks.
You got some good t-shirts. You got to get your butt going.
I did. Well, no, I'm going to list all of my old ones. I'm going to get listed probably by the end of today, and then I'll have to take more pictures tomorrow.
We probably list, Katie lists a little faster than I do. And she's real good at cross posting too. But again, she doesn't like items. So everything she does is a t-shirt or jacket, 90
for the most part, or sweatshirt or sweater. Like that's about it.
So I list probably about 100 items a week or so. Yeah, that's about 100 items a week.
I think we're close to the same. But
yeah.
Anyway, Facebook group is the Boss Facebook group. The link is down below in the description of this video. So just click on that and it'll take you right in. You can request joining.
Okay, so this little dude, I was pretty excited to find. I love all kinds of vintage stuff, vintage toys and vintage games and all that kind of stuff. So this guy was 50% off of $6.99. It was the 50% off tag. So he's $3.50. This is a vintage late 80s, early 90s. It's from Galoob. It's called Smarty Bear. And if he's working, he hasn't been tested yet, but if he's working, he'll probably sell for about $70, between 50, 60, 70, somewhere around there. I paid $3.50 for him. So he's kind of cool. I like him. This one I paid up a little bit for. I actually paid, I believe, $10 for this. But this is one of those things. It's going to go up this week. It's by Gemmy, Gemmy. All Gemmy stuff sells very, very well, especially the older the better. This is a big head dancing skeleton. If he works, again, hasn't been tested, but if he works, he will sell for about $60 to $75, especially right now, this time of the year. There's only a few of them listed that work. So, oh, I paid, what does that say? $12.99. So yeah, I paid about $10 because it was 25% off.
Yep. Trisha wants to know, how do you ship your large jackets and shoes? All my shoes, I send cubic because I can use, let me see if I have the bag over here. These bags right here, they're the 15 by 12. I can fit just about any pair of shoes in one of these bags. And if I just make sure I can fold it down by like 14 by 12 is automatically going to be a 0.2 tier cubic, which I know you may understand what that means, but it's a certain size that I can send. Cubic is much cheaper than sending regular priority. It's just by volume. And then larger jackets, I can also fit. Usually, if I can't fit them into a padded flat rate, I can usually get them squished down and to fit into this, or if I have to, I put in a larger poly bag. So it just all depends. But I try to do cubic priority when possible.
Yeah, Gretchen, it is kind of Russian roulette to a degree, but I would say at least 80% of the items that I buy are working once I test them. There are a few that aren't, and then I'll sell them for display only. And I've never lost money because I usually buy things so inexpensively that even if it doesn't work, I'm going to sell it for parts or display. And I just clearly note that in my listing. And I at least make my money back, and plus shipping. So I'm never losing money, but obviously prefer that things are working.
Christiane says, I forget every time how to get to our coupon. If you're on the seller hub, somewhere on that page, there's a place where it says manage my store. That if you click manage my store, it will take you right to the page that has the discounts and promotions or whatever, and that's where it is.
I use the eBay purple tape mostly, Josie, so I'm with you. I like the eBay tape too. It works really well.
Yeah, the new coupon comes out tomorrow, guys.
Okay, so you guys hear me talk about linens. I know I talk about them a lot, but I have to say that they sell for me. So, and they sell for a really good profit, a really good return on investment if you're buying the right brands. So this is one that I've talked about many times, San Marcos, beater lac, that type of thing. They're blankets. And this is the beater lac tag. There are several variations of this. This is one of the newer tags. It's made in the USA. They're made in Cumberland, Maryland. But the ones that are made in West Germany are obviously the vintage ones. Those sell a little bit better. They usually have animals on them. They're reversible, heavy acrylic blankets, and they have animals on them like deer and lions and some ugly crap like that. But they're really thick and people love them. If you find a Southwest design, those are the most popular. So sure. I paid $3.50 for this one, and I grabbed it because I thought it was pretty cool. It has, it's got a real pretty, like,
that's very different from a
rainbow
lot of ones
pattern.
Usually get.
They don't have a lot of bright, colorful ones, and whenever I have found a bright, colorful one, I have sold it for really high. This one's got some age to it as far as it's definitely got some wear. I'm going to throw it through the washing machine and then hit it with the sweater shaver and all that kind of stuff to make it look as good as possible. There's no holes or anything, no damage to it, but it's definitely been used and loved.
Yeah.
I'll probably sell it for about $75.
Hip Flip and Mama, Kelly says, Vicky, not many people can be like Katie, and it's okay. It's rare to be like us unless you're drunk.
That's true. That's true. And I don't drink enough to be like that. So
yeah, I've never seen you like
she's never
to
seen
that
me.
level. I've seen you drunk, but she just gets really cute, a little bit silly, really cute and energetic, but never, not to my level.
You've seen me drunk once. You and Lorna both at when we were visiting Lorna. That's like the only time.
Pretty much. Okay, there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, Candy asked about, so I was talking about Arnold Palmer. She says, I have had a sweater and shirt that I can't give away. I don't know about shirts or just plain sweaters. It's specifically the cardigans. Those cardigan sweaters are super popular and they sell for really good prices. Okay, so next I'm going to show another jacket that I found. I could not believe I found this on the rack. In fact, when I went through the checkout line, the lady actually said this should have been put behind the case. And I actually agree with her on this one. I was really surprised to find it out on the rack. This is a new with tags. You probably heard me talk about this brand before. Alpha Industries bomber jacket. This is the MA1 bomber jacket, which is like the classic Air Force flight jacket that was made for the military. Alpha Industries used to make it for the military. And then they started, I don't know, a couple decades ago making it for commercial purchase. But this is the classic bomber jacket. You can see how it's orange on the inside. It's actually reversible. And the idea is that your plane goes down, you flip it around and wear it with the orange side out so you're more easily sighted. Now, brand new, these ones go for, you can sell them for $120, $140. This one's a little bit different because, first of all, it's a 3XL, so it's a really, really good size. And it's got some sweet embroidery on it. I don't know what it is. I couldn't find anything like this particular one. It says Menace on the front. And then on the back, it actually says Street Veteran.
With like military style.
Yeah, well, it's
ribbons or braiding.
I think it's like
kind of what it's
supposed to be kind of like streetwear, hip hop type thing. Street veteran, like I'm a veteran of the streets.
I get it, but yeah, that's supposed to look like the military.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like a military thing. So I think this is super awesome. Again, it's a 3X. I have no idea. Like, again, I can't find any of them. So I priced it $200, $199.99. Like I said, if this was a blank one, I could easily sell it for $120, $140. I'm gonna see if I can get $200 for it because this is a really sweet jacket. But yeah, it was priced at $31.50, which is kind of a weird price. But I grabbed it right away, paid 25% off of that. I was like, I can easily make some good money off of this jacket. So I love it. Like, come on, how cool is that? That was a sweet, sweet find. All right, so next I found, I'm always talking about buying those jackets of, like, again, going back to the nerd stuff, like any employee type stuff. So Apple, Microsoft, IBM, all that stuff.
I got a PayPal jacket and an Amazon jacket.
Yeah, PayPal, Amazon, all that stuff. It sells. It really does. This is actually Apple security. Anything Apple definitely sells. This is Apple security. But what's really cool about this jacket is the jacket itself, because a lot of times it's like negligible, the value of the jacket itself. This is actually, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's 511 or whatever, 511 Tactical. This is a brand of like security / military clothing.
It's people that also
kind of higher end.
It's higher end. And it's people that also like to carry. That's what's important about this is it has every article of clothing has somewhere to carry for people that have a concealed carry permit. That's what's so big about it. Like police issue, military, street people. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this jacket alone, like new sells for like $80 or something like that. This particular jacket, but then it's also the whole Apple thing. So I should be able to sell really well. The bomber jacket, it was $31.50, but it was 25% off of that. So
like around $25.
Yeah, like $25, something like that. But again, I'll be able to sell that for minimum $150, if not the $200 I asked for.
So again, can you, if you go into our Boss Facebook group and search for topics under coupon, shipping coupon, you will find there's a couple of different threads in the Boss Facebook group that tell you step by step how to find it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jennifer says buy 511 period. Very, very good. Yeah, I would have bought that jacket anyway. Exactly. It's just the fact that it's got the Apple security thing on it.
I've sold everything 511 I've ever purchased. And actually one thing I purchased was like this totally destroyed piece of junk sweatshirt that I got really cheap. And it still sold for like $35.
Yep.
It was like missing a patch. It was in trashed condition, but still sold.
All right, now I'm going to show you one. I would love it if anybody out there knows what this is. It would be awesome if you could help. I already listed it. I think I listed it for $100 because I don't really know exactly what the deal is. So this is this really cool. This is also a bomber jacket. It's got like leather trim. This is like real leather trim on it. This little leather patch right here. And it's got some really cool distinctive features on it. Like if you look on this sleeve up close, you can see somebody parachuting down and it actually says night drop on it. And it's just like a really neat bomber jacket. And then the tag on it, it's made in Korea. So that just tells me it's probably like vintage 90s. And then it's Mad Max. But as you can guess, if I do a search for Mad Max, everything that comes up is the movie. And stuff. So, and this isn't like, I don't think this is like from the movie or anything like that. And then if you open it up and look inside, it actually says, it has like kind of the military looking, it's not quite the same as the one you usually see on the bomber jackets, but it says type airborne. And then it says that it satisfies Mad Max and US AAFES official jacket specifications. Now AAFES, I can't remember what it stands for, but that's the store that is usually on the base of like for the Air Force and for maybe the Army. And then they sell like the official like military type stuff within those stores. So again, I could not find a single thing, even with those numbers, to help me with that. So I went ahead and listed it anyway and hoped that somebody who knew something about it would come upon it and be willing to pay me $100 for it.
Nice.
So if anybody has any information about it, let me know either now or in the comments or whatever. But I already have it listed for $100, so we'll see. I think it's pretty cool. I didn't pay much for it. I think it was only like $5.50, and I got 25% off of that. But ooh, Leoman's in the house. See, this is the time he usually shows up. Is like after an hour's up. It's,
right at the end.
It's like basically he comes in, he throws money at us.
There you go. Sandy said Army Air Force exchange system.
Right.
Yes. Thank you.
So it's the Army and the Air Force. So I think that's what I said, right? So cool. Leoman, because Leoman's awesome, gets his own special. I assume it's a dude. Whenever I ask, there's never an answer, Leoman.
I know.
I feel like you're a man/woman of mystery. I do know that you're in the Las Vegas area, so I don't know, friend or foe, but you like to throw super chat money at us about an hour into our show, and so you get your own special super chat song, which is here's a super chat, here's a super chat, woo woo woo, here's a super chat, here's a super chat, woo woo woo, here's a super chat, here's a super chat.
All right, weirdo.
Thanks, Leoman. You're awesome.
Yeah, there is a 511 store on Dean Martin, which is in the city near us. I've been actually to it a couple of times. I have a friend that likes to shop there every time they come and visit us in town. So yeah, it's got some real cool stuff.
Real quick, Josie says that Menace jacket is the 2015 spring collection. I'm like, I got my spring collection bomber jacket here. That sold back then for 120 new. So nice. Yeah, so I think selling it for trying to sell it for like $200 is not bad because it's not available. It's a nice big size. I think it's still a cool jacket that's going to be
and it's still
popular.
New, obviously.
Yeah, still new Ted. So yeah.
Nice.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So these were two things that were behind the counter, which again, I don't know why they keep everything behind the counter at this particular Savers. It drives me nuts because half of the stuff has no business being behind the counter. But whatever. They were priced at $10 a piece, which means I paid $7.50. So why are you keeping $10 items behind the counter? It's not that small. It's not like you can walk away with it.
It's a pretty cool purse, though. I think in this case, you're kind of lucky because, like, I bet stuff.
Somebody else would have grabbed it, and it's basically these are definitely new without tags. So this is like a Ouija board, like planchette, is what it's supposed to be.
So cool.
Look like. So it's new. This is new, definitely unused. Handbag. It's by a brand called Killstar, which is kind of a UK brand. So this is definitely going to be like that rockabilly, psychobilly, horrorbilly, goth type of stuff. So it has a handle in it. So it's a chain purse shaped like a Ouija board planchette. I paid $7.50. I'm going to sell it for $69.99. And then the other one that was the same brand is this coffin-shaped backpack.
That was awesome.
Which is the same brand, again, brand new. And these are really nice. I haven't checked the tags. I'm not sure if they're real leather or faux leather, probably faux. Again, paid $7.50. I'm going to list it for $69.95.
Mm-hmm. So Clark West wants to know if I order pizza while watching, can I deduct as a business dinner? Yes, we are discussing business here. We are learning. This is a seminar. So of course, okay. So Life of Doug says to check 82nd Airborne for the Army jacket, 82nd Airborne, and somebody else backed
for
him
your
up
Mad
on that.
Max thing.
So I think you're talking about the Mad Max thing.
I was thinking it might be a division. Is what
I wrote
when
it.
You said that.
Yeah, I wrote it down, so I will definitely look that up. So thank you for the suggestion, because
yeah, when you hit Mad Max, you're just going to find thousands of
I mean,
Mel
it's impossible.
Gibson
I couldn't find like a logo that looked like that. So yeah.
Okay, so I'll do one more thing, but these are, I believe these are early 90s vintage Reebok with the original thing on them, Reebok sneakers. So these are women's, but they're a size 8, which is a pretty good size. So I paid $7.50. I'm going to list these for about 50 or 60 as well.
So Leoman, we just got a little tidbit of information. Leoman's name is Leo.
So hi, Leo. Now we know you're a boy.
Now we know. Well, I guess there could be a girl named Leo, but
sure.
Probably I'm going to say it's a boy. So Leo, I believe we've been calling you a dude, so we're going to go with that. Awesome. Also, Ocean So had a question. Follow-up question from Friday for me about when I talked about getting new things from Ross, Marshalls, and Burlington's, new stuff, name brand or off-label clothes and shoes. So I go to Ross and I go to Burlington both for shoes. And it's name brand, like a lot of Nike. I will get a Nike, Adidas, some Puma, but mostly Nike and Adidas. So definitely name brand stuff. They both have, the reason I go to those two places is they both do a really good job of marking their stuff down after it's been there for a while. So you can get some really good clearance stuff from both Ross and Burlington. Marshalls, I don't do so well with shoes there. I think their stuff is priced too high when it comes to shoes. Ross, I pretty much only do shoes.
Their clothing, their off-brand clothing.
Most of their clothing is terrible.
Crap,
however, speaking of Alpha Industries, last year I did buy, I mean, I don't even know how many I bought because I kept going to every single Ross and buying more of them. But Alpha Industries, they just randomly had all of these parkas, like full parkas, as well as bomber jackets, and they were all like this yellow. Well, some of them were gray, and I bought those between $30 and $40. I think I probably purchased overall like close to 20 of them and sold them all for, I think I have one left now. I sold them all for anywhere from 120 to 100. I think
up to 200. I think you said.
Not two. I think 170,
179.
179. I think was the most I sold them for. So it was like every once in a while they'll have good jackets there for men. And then Burlington has more higher end jackets and mid-level jackets. So I do buy jackets from there as well. Marshalls is kind of hit or miss. A lot of times going to Marshalls, I don't find anything good. Although some of them I found like a bunch of Levi's jackets I still have them hoping to sell out during this fourth quarter. And then we went the one time to the Marshalls when we did that video with Teresa. The Marshalls that's on the strip is like 3 times bigger than any Marshalls I've ever been to before.
It's huge.
And they have way more stuff, way more brands, but everything's brand name stuff. Hip Flippin' Mama, include my name.
She has a request.
Include my name in your super chat song. My real name. I'll make it easy for you.
Hip Flippin' Mama is kind of hard to put into a song
let's
lyric.
see. So Kelly, what's a good song what's a good song that we could do for Kelly?
This is your thing. Susan's back to her real name. She had some weird name, Life of Doug. She did a YouTube years ago, Life of Doug, and that's what came up. She couldn't log in.
She probably was just like in a different thing. So Hip Flippin' Mama. Oh man, I see you're putting us on the spot. I can't think of like a good one off the top of my head.
Do you want to show a couple of items while you're thinking? Or would you like me to show a couple of items while you're thinking?
How about I just make up a song? Kelly, you gave us a super chat. We really appreciate that. Kelly, I love you for your super chat. Super chat. How's that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kelly.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the jacket that I found at the 6th store. Also a store we wouldn't have gone to had I listened to your terrible advice. Your horrible advice. This, and they had it priced really cheap. For some reason, they only had it priced at $25. This is a very heavy motorcycle racing jacket.
Kevlar lined.
The brand is Icon. This is a Team Yoshimura. I don't know how to pronounce it. Which is a Suzuki racing team. Very cool jacket. This is a nice big size. I think it's like a 52. It does have it's got the shoulder armor in it, and it has the forearm armor in it. It does not have the back part of it, but it's just this crazy heavy motorcycle jacket, racing jacket. They had it priced at $25, which I think is pretty. Usually they price a lot higher.
Yeah.
It's leather. So
I think that's a real official racing jacket too.
Actually, I don't think it is because I was able to find a couple other ones just like it. I think I saw some that had sold on like Worth Point for like $100. I think I can do a little bit better than that. I think I priced it at $200. I don't think it'll sell for $200, but we'll see how it goes. But I think that's a really cool jacket. It had some markings on it, and I was able to use. You have like this really awesome leather conditioning stuff. It's like this kind of. It's in a spray bottle, but it's very.
It's for like furniture cleaning, like leather conditioning cleaning stuff, but it works really, really well on shoes and jackets and purses. And so I use it for everything.
So when there's like scuff marks and stuff like this, had like a bunch of like black scuff marks on it. And almost all of it I was able to get off completely. There's a couple of very small marks on it, but not much. So
that's what happens when you have leather furniture and dogs that like to puke on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and no, there will not be dancing. No, I love you guys, and I definitely appreciate the super chats, but she is the singer and ridiculous acting person, which I love.
Yeah. How many things do you have left?
2.
All right, let me show a couple more first.
Yep.
So then I'm really excited about this, guys. Going back to nerd stuff, but before we talk about the nerd part of it, this is a much coveted Patagonia vintage fleece jacket, pullover jacket, specifically these Patagonia chinchilla. So you can see it says Patagonia chinchilla. That's not a chinchilla. Patagonia chinchilla. And you'll see what's really awesome about this particular one is it's made in the U.S., but there's ones that aren't made in the U.S. that still sell really high. Just go search Patagonia chinchilla fleece, search solds, sort by highest, and some of them sell for hundreds, especially the ones that have the Southwest print on them. But even just one like this could sell for well over $100, just this black plain. It's got keywords you would say, obviously, Patagonia chinchilla, but you would also say snap tee. They call this snap tee, the way this snaps, this pullover, this particular jacket that's got like this little
particular style,
funky, like little shiny pocket right here in the brand.
It's nylon.
And so, but even better on this one, in my opinion, let me see. We've got right here, Sun Microsystems. So this is, again, a computer
double-branded nerdwear.
Yep, double-branded nerdwear. This is from the 90s, vintage.
Like Patagonia is this outdoor hiking type of thing,
yep,
where people that work for Sun Microsystems have probably never seen daylight because they're behind a computer in a basement.
Well, and Sun Microsystems actually
kind of an oxymoron.
Sun Microsystems actually sold to the company Oracle, and so this isn't even like, so to me that makes it even more desirable. So I'm pretty stoked about it. So I already listed this. This I priced at $200. I think I paid like $10 for it. But the made in the US, this kind of Patagonia, always pick it up because you're always gonna be able to sell it for at least $100. If you find yourself a Southwestern print one, hoo boy, you can sell that for $300 maybe.
Wow,
$200 to $300. It's crazy.
I learned something new.
Yeah.
As far as the name of the leather cleaner, I don't know off the top of my head, but we'll add a link to it down at the bottom of this video when we're done, when we upload the final video. So yeah, it's not an expensive one. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's lasted me like well over a year, and it's just a spray bottle.
We got one more jacket.
Okay.
This is also from the last number 6 place. This is actually the first thing I saw when I got to the jacket aisle. And this is a vintage 90s, no fear, denim, kind of varsity bomber jacket. It's got the denim and then the dark colored sleeves. This is, I mean, I'm sure you guys know about No Fear from the 90s. I think it does really well. There's actually a couple of these that are terrible listings with terrible pictures that are not the same size that are listed right now for too cheaply. I think I will sell this during fourth quarter. I think I have it listed like $80. Other people have theirs listed for like 30 or 40. And I think that's like way underselling it. But mine is a much better listing, different size, great pictures, great policies. I'm going to get me some real money for this thing. But this is just there's nothing on the back of this particular one.
See, I probably wouldn't have picked that up. So
that's crazy.
I know. It's not a brand that was on my radar.
Vintage 90s, No Fear. And even remember how I just sold that No Fear jacket that was like that celebrity pro racing thing? And I sold that for like $100. So
yeah, it's just you brought that brand to my forefront there.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So one of our first stores, I think it was the second store we went in, I was able to find 2 things that are kind of like, you hope to find these once or twice. And they're almost not holy grail necessarily, but pretty close. So one of the things I found is a vintage 90s Lisa Frank rainbow, like Trapper Keeper. It's not a Trapper Keeper because it's not by Mead, but sorry, but it's not by Mead. It's by Lisa Frank. So it's like binder, 3-ring binder, you call it. Anyway, zipper works. It's in great shape. I paid $2 for it. It is vintage Lisa Frank because it has the capital L. The lowercase L is newer Lisa Frank and does not sell for as much and is not quite as collectible, although it does still have value for collectors. So I paid $2 for this. Sorry. I paid $2 for this. I'm going to sell it for 60 or 70, this particular one. If it had unicorns on it, that's probably one of the only ones that sells better than this particular one.
That's awesome.
So I was super excited to find that. And when I saw it out of the corner of my eye as I pulled down the aisle where the office supplies were, I was like, oh, it's got to be a new one. Can't possibly be an old one. I was like, oh, but it is.
Would you say you're stoked?
Yes, I was stoked.
Stoked like Steve. I had some friends, like, this is back in the early 2000s, some friends from Canada, and they had a buddy from their friend group who I never met, whose name was Steve. And the thing about Steve is no matter what he was talking about, he was always really, really excited. Like, he could be telling you about the spaghetti dinner he had last night, and he would be telling you like it was the most amazing thing that had ever happened in his life. So they coined the phrase stoked like Steve, because if you're really excited about something, you are stoked like Steve.
All right, I'm never going to be using stoked like Steve as a phrase. Sorry, I don't know who Steve is, and I don't care.
Whatever.
And yes,
that was rude.
Let's see. Christiane said, be careful, folks. Lisa Frank sells at the Dollar Tree now. You're absolutely right. The newer Lisa Frank with the lowercase L, they sell a lot of like coloring books and notebooks and folders and things like that. They also still sell, there's a bit of a resurgence under that brand at Walmart. But those can still sell well, like notebooks. And
but you got to do your research on it.
You got it. Yeah. You have to see if it's worth it or not, you know. The other thing that I saw, I literally watched the guy take it off the rack and start to walk toward the counter and the shelf with this.
Lorna, are you holding on to your seat?
I already told Lorna about it.
Lorna, are you? Okay. Well, whatever. Lorna's going to be excited about this.
This was $5.99. I got 25% off. It is one of the holy grails of board games. It is vintage 1989 Mall Madness.
Mall Madness, what?
The box is a little bit beat up.
Flipping South is stoked like Steve. Just saying.
The box is a little bit beat up, but I'm super excited about this game. It is like 99% complete. It was missing only the little people, and I actually just found them on eBay and bought the little people for $6. So as soon as the little people get here, I'll photograph this and list it. Now, here's the thing. This is where people are bringing down the price on this a little bit. This board game should sell all day long for $125 to $150, and it will, because that's what I'm going to price mine at, complete.
And she's going to sell it for that much.
Some people list it far too cheaply. I am not going to be one of those people. It will sell for $150 in fourth quarter. Mark my words.
Mark our words, guys. Mark them. Mark them down.
But yeah, this has been on my bucket list. I've never found one out in the wild. I have found the newer version a couple of times.
Which even the newer version sells for
even the newer version I sold for like $85 last time. So this was on my bucket list. I've never found it before. When I saw them put this on the counter, again, it was all taped up. I had no idea what the hell was in it. It could have been an empty box I just paid $4 for, whatever. I didn't care. I probably would have bought it anyway.
She was totally stoked like Steve.
Stoked like Steve.
See, she just said it. She said she wouldn't say it. She's a liar, guys. She's a liar.
But that's it. I had to end on the creme de la creme.
Yeah. All right, I got a few more things. I know it's already 3:30, but guys, I'm telling you, it was a good week. It was a good week. So this is another one that I could potentially use some help with, because I can't quite figure it out. I don't know the deal. I already listed it with keywords I can think of.
Oh, and the other thing that I found while we were out at the very last store, if any of you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw, I finally found my very first vintage Pendleton board shirt out in the wild. It was $11.99 and it was flippin' destroyed. I'm still regretting. I probably should have bought it, even though it was destroyed, but I don't think it would have sold.
No.
It had like, it looked like a Godzilla attacked the person in it and just dragged their claws across it. It had like huge hole in the front. It was ridiculous, and they still had it on the rack priced at $11.99. I don't know,
which is just stupid.
I did actually have tears in my eyes.
Yeah. All right, so this is like a fleece sweatshirt that I found, and look at all the sweet patches that are on this. Okay, so a couple of things. So the brand on this is, it says Fox Sport. So I think this is 90s, made in Korea. I think it's 90s. It says Fox Sport. I'm pretty much positive this has nothing to do with Fox Racing. You can see on the back, it also says Fox Sport. And then if you see down here, it says in a few places B Fox. So like right here, it says it's like $1 billion ski club.
But that's the same logo as Fox Racing.
No, it's not.
That one is.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not, but I could be wrong. But it says the $1 billion ski club by B Fox, and I couldn't find anything about Fox where it was ever referred to as B Fox. So she's talking about this one right here. She's saying this is the same logo. I do not believe it is, but I could be wrong.
Not the star, not the snowflake.
No,
but the way that the letters look.
I don't know. And then it's got like it says ski, and it's got like 6 rings instead of the 5 rings like the Olympics. But then it does have like, it's got there's the Sun Microsystems logo right there. It's got Citizens Bank or Citizen Bank logo. It's got Kodak. It's got Samsung.
It's actually the old Citizens Bank logo too.
Yeah, so it's like, so it's probably from an event or a convention, but the brand, I don't know what the brand is. I couldn't, when I searched like the $1 Billion Ski Club by B Fox, couldn't find anything. But I priced it kind of high, listed it. We'll see what comes up. I put like the names of like the different, it's like a sponsorship type thing. But if anybody knows anything about this, hit me up. Let me know. I've already got listed. No, it's not. It's not the Fox Network. I don't believe. I think it is a clothing brand. So who knows? Who knows, guys? All right, T-shirt talk time.
The bomber jacket, paratrooper.
Paratrooper.
Might be a paratrooper.
Yeah, I'll put that.
I'll write it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, it's T-shirt talk time, guys. So I was purposely not getting as many T-shirts just because I had a bunch from last week. So I was like, only if I find something really cool will I grab it. So I bought a lot less T-shirts until I hit one store that had like a crazy amount of Harley shirts. So I'll get into that. But just a couple of ones I wanted to show off. So I found this Devil's Reject shirts. There are a lot of different Devil's Reject shirts online. But this one in particular, the movie came out in 2005. And if you look at this tag, it's the all style apparel, and it says made in Mexico of U.S. fabric, which would date it right to be about mid 2000s. So I believe this shirt actually was like one of the promos or ones that came out when the movie came out, which is pretty cool. You can pretty much buy a very similar same shirt right now. That's probably just like a reprint, but this would be like the OG. So I thought that was pretty cool. So not vintage. Now this T-shirt is also not vintage, but it's a really cool shirt, and it's all about Candlestick Park closing. It says there's no place like home, and it's just kind of like a memorial T-shirt to Candlestick Park, which is the one that's in San Francisco. And I think it's a cool design.
Which is gone.
Yeah, so this is a really cool design. It's a nice size. And the brand is actually Derby of San Francisco. You can see that right there. So it's printed on the back. So Derby of San Francisco, they actually make these coats. If you ever see these jackets, like look up Derby San Francisco jackets and sort those solds highest to lowest. I think that was one of the brands I brought to your attention too. They sell for like $100. It's crazy. But anyway, I thought this was a really cool T-shirt. I'll probably just sell it for like $35.99.
Kathy asked the difference between a regular Pendleton shirt and a board shirt. Board shirts are vintage, first of all. They are the most
regular
desirable.
Ones as well, but it's a very specific make. So if you go and look Pendleton board shirt and look at solds or whatever on eBay, a legitimate board shirt, they have the pocket flaps that do not have a buttonhole or buttons.
And
so
it's
just a
they're
flap.
straight across.
They don't have tails. So
it's also a straight
hem
across
of it
hem.
is straight across. And then also they have the little loop in the collar. So the button over here, and then there's like a loop up here for the very top button. Those are like the 3 things that kind of make it distinct from a regular Pendleton shirt. So a regular Pendleton shirt will just it'll have the buttons. It may or may not have it. Usually it has the tails. But the board shirt's the most desirable ones. That's a cool T-shirt. This is one of the few actual vintage T-shirts I got. I think that religious stuff sells really well. This is Young Explorer's Amazing Journey to Bible Times. This is from it's from 1993. Look at that shirt, guys. I find that like the religious stuff, the Christian T-shirts actually sell really well. And this is like a cool old vintage T-shirt. So yeah. All right, guys. Last thing really quick. Like I said, I wasn't going to buy very many T-shirts. And then I went into one of the stores and they had a crazy amount of Harley shirts.
Now I would have bought these.
Yes.
For sure.
So
she just found them first.
I don't buy all Harley T-shirts. If it's vintage, I will definitely buy it. If it's anything like 90s and before, or if it's got like a cool design on it, I'll buy it. But otherwise, like there's a lot of Harley shirts out there.
Yeah.
These ones are from
20 to 25 bucks usually for the more common ones.
These ones are all from like early 2000s, mid 2000s. Clearly somebody like donated their whole collection, and they're from all over not just all over the country, but all over the world. And I bought like about 20 of them. I think I bought 18 t-shirts and 1 tank top.
And they're not really worn or overwashed. The colors are nice and bright.
And the reason I got them all is because they literally had them priced at $2.49. And then it was 25% off that. I think I paid $1.87 for every single one of these. So I'll just show you a couple of them. This one's from Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. So I think it's got the wolves on the front. It's got the pirate on the back.
I've seen that graphic before.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty cool. I think I actually have 2 of them. And that's from 2004.
The religious t-shirt, what would you sell that for? 30 bucks?
I'll probably price it at $35.99. But then after 2 weeks, they'll go on sale for between 10 and 15%. So this one, I thought this one was super cool. This is probably my favorite one. This one's Milwaukee steel. And it shows like the steel, the metal being poured. So I just thought that was a really cool like location design one. And this one's from
Salt Lake City.
This is Utah, but this one's from 2005. And so I thought that was super cool. Again, $2.49. So $1.87 each. And then
even if you price every one at 30 bucks to get out the door,
I'll price them all. And here's the other thing. I will photograph them all at the same time, and then when I list them, it's going to be super easy to just do sell similar, and just change little details like where it's coming from. But because I already have all of like the brand information in there and all that other stuff, it'll be really quick to list them. And then this one's from Australia, and I like this one because it's got a kangaroo riding a motorcycle, riding a Harley. So I thought that one was cute. But anyway, yeah, I got 18 of those. So like I went from having like a few t-shirts to suddenly here's 18 more t-shirts to list. So anyway,
I got nothing else. That was it.
Man,
I was all out with my mall madness. This
might be our longest video yet because
I know we're over the 90-minute mark.
We just had so much cool stuff to show that I wanted to show with all of you guys. Okay, sorry. Anyway, last day of September, guys. Tomorrow's October 1st. So
officially Q4.
It's officially fourth quarter starting tomorrow. So buckle up because it's going to be hopefully an exciting ride for all of you.
All right, so we kept over 100 viewers the whole time, so that's pretty cool.
So Gretchen was asking about what's hung up. So Gretchen, if you want to watch on Wednesday's show, I actually show like up close what everything is, but I'll tell you really quick. Up on the wall, I finally met up with Regs, aka Sandy, and she hooked me up with these. All I had to do was pay with tacos. I have Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is the one that's over in the top corner over there. I have Troma's War is down below that. Your head's in the way right there, but you can see the big war, Troma's War. I have Blade Runner in the middle. It was John Carpenter, the anthology album, but that was a white album, and so it was really reflecting a lot of light. So I switched that out with the OG Blade Runner. And then up top over here is Prom Night, which is an awesome Jamie Lee Curtis horror movie that I love from 1980. And then below that is Metropolis, which is one of my favorite movies. It's from the 20s. It's an old silent movie. That's like one of the.
It's a silent movie, but it has a soundtrack.
Well, the silent movies all had soundtracks. They're silent as in the actors weren't speaking, but they were scored. A lot of times when they would screen the movies in theaters, they would actually have somebody, either an orchestra or somebody playing the piano, but they had music. Rudy Judy. But this particular one is actually the album that was made in the 80s. Freddie Mercury's on it, and like a bunch of other 80s bands and musicians are on it, like Loverboy's on it, Pat Benatar. Anyway, and they basically redid the soundtrack for the original movie, and so that's the vinyl for that. So that's what those are. But you can see them up close if you look at Wednesday's show.
All right, so I guess that's it. Those are our solds and our haul highlights for the week and our all that stuff.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Please like the video if you haven't already and you enjoyed the show. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, that would be super awesome if you go ahead and hit subscribe. Little subscribe button down below. Make sure you are subscribed. Sometimes they kick people off. I mean, I know that's happened where it's like you just get automatically unsubscribed from stuff. So make sure you are subscribed and hit the little notification bell that's next to it to make sure that you are getting notifications when new content comes out or when we start like a new live video. Yeah, thanks for coming. And Wednesday, I don't know what we're doing on Wednesday yet. So Wednesday we will have a regular Boss Up and List show.
See, Laura thought that was a totally legit question.
What?
It was a silent film. Oh, I was there to score and a record album for it.
You don't sit there in silence.
You said it was in the 20s, and that's an album.
They didn't have music. Oh, well, yes, it's not from the 20s.
Whatever.
I get it. Rude. Hashtag rude. Anyway, she's got to get back to taking pictures, and I'm going to list a bunch of T-shirts now and maybe get myself something to snack on.
I was very excited. I actually finished my taxes today. My taxes for 2017, mind you. But I had an extension, so they don't have to be in until the 15th. So I finished them today. They go to my accountant tomorrow.
Good work. Good work.
Nothing like procrastinating to the last minute. But then he'll have almost a full 2 weeks to review them. So
exactly. Anyway, get back to work. Get back to playing. Whatever you're doing today, guys, do that. And we will see you guys later.
We will see you Wednesday.
Boss up.
Bye.